Hello and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I am Nkechi Tejure. Here are our top stories. Health Minister clarifies House officers not civil servants. JAMB warns varsities stop manipulating candidates' choices. Security operatives sail PDP secretariat, Legacy House amid leadership tussle. Nigeria's gas dream fading as flaring surges again. Tension rises as Chad shuts border with Nigeria over U.S. threats. Lamine Yamal Mbappe headline 2025 FIFA Pro World 6. Now to the news in full. The federal government has clarified that medical and dental house officers cannot be placed under the civil service scheme because they are not full-time government employees. Salako explained that house officers are recent medical graduates undergoing a mandatory one-year internship, not permanent staff, and are therefore ineligible for civil service benefits such as pensions. He warned that including them in the scheme could create serious administrative and financial complications as their engagement lasts only 12 months. The minister added that the internship arrangement also applies to nurses, pharmacists, and physiotherapists, and is designed strictly for professional training, not long-term employment. Dr. Salako further noted that the controversy over creating a consultant cadre from non-medical doctors predates the current administration. Meanwhile, the strike by the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors continues, with negotiations ongoing to resolve the dispute and restore normal hospital services across the country. Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiaq Salako, made this known at a press briefing in Abuja on Monday, addressing one of the key demands of striking resident doctors. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Lanre Issa Onilu, has dismissed claims by the United States that Christians are being targeted in Nigeria, describing the allegation as another failure of American intelligence. Speaking during the joint security briefing at the NOA headquarters in Abuja, Issa Onilu said Nigeria's security situation was being deliberately misrepresented, insisting that the government remains committed to protecting all citizens regardless of faith. He cited the recent shake-up in the military leadership as proof of the administration's seriousness in tackling insecurity nationwide. The NOA boss accused the U.S. of repeating past intelligence blunders seen in Iraq and Libya, saying this latest claim of Christian genocide is both false and unfair to Nigeria. Meanwhile, the National Security Advisor and newly appointed service chiefs are expected to brief the media on the country's security outlook later today. The United States first listed Nigeria as a country of particular concern in 2020 before lifting it in 2021. The fresh redesignation has now reignited debate over religious freedom and America's understanding of Nigeria's complex security challenges. Issa Onilu was reacting to Nigeria's recent redesignation by Washington as a country of particular concern, following comments by former U.S. President Donald Trump, who accused Nigerian authorities of turning a blind eye to the killing of Christians. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has cautioned Nigerian universities and other tertiary institutions against coercing high-ranking candidates to abandon their preferred programs for less subscribed ones. The board alleged that some institutions, particularly one in the southwest and another in Abuja, have been using internal school portals to pressure top candidates to switch programs, a move JAMB says is illegal and outside the Central Admissions Processing System, CAPS. The agency warned that all admission processes must be carried out strictly through CAPS, and any alteration done outside it would be deemed unauthorized. Candidates who agree to such changes, JAMB stressed, do so at their own risk, as the board will not be held liable for the consequences. Meanwhile, regulatory actions have reportedly begun to address the infractions and protect candidates' interests in the ongoing 2025 admission cycle. JAMB reaffirmed its commitment to maintaining transparency, accountability, and fairness in Nigeria's admission process. The board advised candidates to ignore any invitation to change programs through unofficial portals, warning that institutions found guilty may face sanctions. In a statement released on Monday by its public communication advisor, Fabian Benjamin, JAMB describes the act as unethical and a deliberate attempt to distort the merit-based admission system. The crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party, PDP, took a dramatic turn on Monday as security operatives sealed off the party's national secretariat, Wadata Plaza, and the Legacy House in Abuja, following the controversial emergence of Abdul Rahman Mohammed as acting national chairman. The lockdown came just hours after Mohammed's faction announced his assumption of office, a move that deepened the already simmering division within the PDP's National Working Committee. Party insiders say the security presence is a preemptive measure to prevent violence, while others see it as a sign of worsening instability within the opposition party. Staff at the Secretariat later staged a protest describing the situation as total confusion, vowing not to resume work until the leadership crisis is resolved. Meanwhile, loyalists from both camps have retreated to undisclosed locations for strategy meetings as calls for calm echo within the party hierarchy. As at news time, both the PDP Secretariat and Legacy House remained sealed under tight security, leaving Nigeria's main opposition party once again at a crossroad. Heavily armed officers stormed both locations in the early hours, ordering staff and journalists out before locking the gates and taking positions around the buildings. The move, according to sources, followed intelligence reports of a possible clash between rival factions of the party. There was chaos in the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja on Monday as protesters loyal to the Wike-backed faction stormed Wadata Plaza, demanding that the Umar Damagum-led National Working Committee vacate office immediately. Chanting solidarity songs, the protesters insisted they were reclaiming the party's secretariat for the Abdul Rahman-led faction. In a show of force, the group loyal to the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, announced that it had suspended the Damagum-led National Working Committee and formally taken over the national chairman's office. Addressing journalists, Mohammed Abdul Rahman vowed to unite and reposition the party ahead of the next general election, promising to work for peace and party cohesion. Meanwhile, party loyalists aligned with Damagum have dismissed the takeover as illegal, insisting that the PDP's constitution does not recognize any parallel leadership. As the power tussle continues, the once dominant opposition party faces yet another test of unity, with both camps claiming legitimacy at the top. The protest followed last week's emergence of Mohammed Abdul Rahman as factional acting national chairman, a move that deepened the leadership crisis rocking the main opposition party. Security operatives were quickly deployed to prevent clashes between rival groups. You're watching our daily news roundup. We'll go for a short break. When we return, more news stories on the business front.
Alright, my name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor AD.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, Naija Celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
As you know, you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Welcome back. Now on the business front, Nigeria's goal of powering homes and industries through gas is under renewed threat as gas flaring continues to rise despite worsening electricity supply across the country. The rise in flaring comes amid declining crude oil production, which has dropped from 1.71 million barrels per day in July to 1.58 million barrels per day by September. Electricity generation companies say they can supply up to 8,000 megawatts if gas is made available, but the national grid barely sustains 5,000 megawatts. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry warns the trend poses a major economic risk, citing vandalism, downtime, and weak regulation. Meanwhile, the federal government insists its Decade of Gas initiative remains on course, targeting 2030 to transform Nigeria into a gas-driven economy. As gas flaring worsens and industries groan, energy analysts say Nigeria's clean energy ambition is being undetermined unless urgent investments are made in pipelines, processing, and pricing reforms. Latest data from the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission shows gas flaring rose by 10% in September 2025, reaching over 16 million standard cubic feet, enough to power dozens of small-scale power plants. The wasted gas, valued at about $451 million, comes at a time millions of Nigerians remain without steady power and manufacturers depend on costly diesel to run operations. The 14th edition of the Africa International Film Festival, AFRIF, has officially opened in Lagos, celebrating the fusion of music and film under the theme Rhythms of the Continent, the Afrobeat film movement. The AFRIF Film and Content Market, running concurrently from November 3rd to 6th, positions Lagos as Africa's creative capital, offering pitching sessions, deal rooms, and industry panels on financial and intellectual property. AFRIF founder Chioma Ude says the market is a sustainable hub for African filmmakers, ensuring art meets business. This year also marks a major international breakthrough, with AFRIF partnering the Cannes Film Festival's March to Film to give selected African projects direct access to the global market. The festival opened with a Pan-African thriller, Three Cold Dishes, co-executive produced by Burna Boy and actress Osas Ighodaro, and will close with a documentary, Tuki, From Roots to Bayou. AFRIF 2025 also features over 90 films and honors industry icons with the newly renamed Herbert Wigwe Award for Excellence. Organizers say this year's edition is more than a film showcase. It's a bold statement of Africa's growing creative economy and its global potential. The festival, which runs from November 2nd to 8th, has also unveiled a groundbreaking film and content market, the first of its kind in Nigeria, designed to connect African creators with investors, distributors, and global buyers. Chad has closed its border with Nigeria following reports of a possible U.S. military action against Abuja ordered by President Donald Trump. Counterinsurgency expert Zagazolu Makama confirmed the development in a post on X, revealing that Chadian President Mahamat Idris Deby Itno ordered a total military lockdown against the Nigerian border. Troops and armored vehicles have reportedly been deployed across key corridors in the Lake Chad region to prevent infiltration by armed groups fleeing northern Nigeria. In a statement from N'Djamena, President Deby warned that no armed group or foreign force will be allowed to enter Chadian soil under any disguise. Analysts say the move is a precautionary measure to protect Chadian sovereignty amid growing tension and global speculation over Washington's stance on Nigeria's internal crisis. For now, cross-border trade and movement remains suspended as both nations monitor the rapidly evolving security situation in the region. The Chadian government, acting on intelligence about potential militant movements, has placed its army on full alert, sealing all crossings between both nations. On the foreign scene, Finnish President Alexander Stubb has warned that the world has entered what he calls a new era of nuclear weapons, following the United States announcement of plans to resume nuclear testing for the first time in over 3 decades. Last week, US President Donald Trump revealed that Washington would begin nuclear weapons testing, sparking global concern. The move follows Russia's announcement of successful test of its new nuclear-powered cruise missile and an underwater nuclear drone. No country apart from North Korea has conducted an actual nuclear explosion in decades, with Russia and China abstaining since the 1990s. In his address, Stubb questioned how nations could build deterrence together and control escalation amid rising nuclear rhetoric and renewed arms posturing by major powers. Finland, which shares a 1,340-kilometer border with Russia, remains particularly sensitive to such developments following its entry into NATO in 2023. Stubb's warning adds to mounting global anxiety that the world may be sliding back into a COVID war-style arms race, one with far higher stakes and far less restraint. Speaking in Helsinki on Monday, Stubb said the balance of deterrence between global superpowers is shifting, describing it as a dangerous transformation in strategic stability. He urged smaller nations like Finland, which joined NATO last year, to rethink their security approach in the face of escalating nuclear tensions. And now on the foreign scene, on the sports scene, I beg your pardon, the 2025 FIFA Pro Men's World 11 has been unveiled, celebrating football's best talents as voted by players themselves. Spain's teenage sensation Lamine Yamal and France's Kylian Mbappe headlined the elite lineup, joining an exclusive list that includes world-class names across every position. The FIFA Pro World 11 honors 1 goalkeeper, 3 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 4 forwards, representing the ultimate pair-to-pair recognition in global football. Organizers say this year's team reflects a blend of excellence and emerging talents, acknowledging consistency, influence, and brilliance across major competitions. The 2025 selection continues a long-standing tradition of celebrating excellence in the beautiful game, with players themselves deciding who truly defined the season. The FIFA Pro Men's World 11 remains one of the football's most prestigious honors, not decided by fans or journalists, but by the professionals who share the pitch. Over 26,000 professional footballers from 68 countries participated in the global poll, selecting the standout stars of the season based on performances between July 2024 and August 2025. Liverpool manager Arne Slot says Trent Alexander-Arnold should be remembered for his great moments in the red shirt ahead of the England defender's return to Anfield with Real Madrid on Tuesday night. The Dutch coach praised the former Liverpool vice-captain's contribution to the Reds' recent success under Jurgen Klopp, including 2 Premier League titles and a Champions League crown. The right-back endured a turbulent exit, booed by fans during his final months at Anfield, but Slot insists he remains one of Liverpool's greatest modern players. Liverpool have struggled in his absence, losing 6 of their last 8 games. Meanwhile, Real Madrid arrive in red-hot form, 5 points clear in La Liga, unbeaten in the Champions League group stage, and boosted by Kylian Mbappe's explosive start. Slot confirmed Alisson, Isak, and Frimpong remain sidelined, while Real boss Xabi Alonso is expected to start Federico Valverde at right back for the blockbuster clash. Alexander Arnold, who joined Madrid in June after running down his Liverpool contract, will face his boyhood club for the first time since leaving. Slot says he will personally give the 27-year-old a warm welcome, even if the fans don't. And with that sports news, we come to the end of our daily news roundup for today right here on Atlantic TV. Do also follow us on all our social media platforms for more news stories and headline updates. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nkechi Tejire. Have a pleasant day.